Todd, actually, we were talking about yesterday, a little flashbang story that you experienced one. We wanted to hear about.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were talking a little military talk.
That's right. Always. That's right. I forgot. You guys started. You asked me about flashbang.
Well, yeah, we were saying imagine if you got hit by a flashbang.
Yeah, that's what it was. You asked me if I ever got hit by a flashbang, and I was like, yes. I have a story for it. And then we all stopped. We're like, oh yeah, we should tell them the podcast. Good call. We almost forgot it. So, all right. So there we go.
There it is. There it is.
Behind the band.
So fucking hard.
I was supposed to buy Coke off these two Mexicans.
Cocaine, yes.
Yeah. So I think we did something earlier in the day, and we did like a buy bust where we arrest the guy right afterward, and then he flipped like an Italian, even though he was Mexican, and wanted to rat out the guy, his supplier. So I was like, well, can we order up some Coke from this guy? And he said, absolutely. So the guy comes to meet me in Shelbyville, and we go to this park where there's like a boat ramp. So there's a narrow entrance. You get down. It's one way in, one way out, and it goes downhill, and then it opens up enough where you could like back your boat into the river if you want. So we're there, and I'm waiting with the guy that's the informant now, and his buddy shows up, and he parks there. So we were going to take this guy down right away because we didn't know who he was. When he's identified, you don't let him go. You just arrest him. So a SWAT team, the Shelbyville SWAT team was ready. And the signal was, because the guy said he'll be bringing it in his trunk. So I said, when you guys see me open the trunk and you hear me say, oh, yep, looks like that's going to weigh out, then you come. So I do that. Nobody comes.
Yeah.
He shuts the trunk. The guy's getting into his car, and he's getting ready to leave. So I'm trying to stall him, asking more questions like, hey, if I were to get a hold of you tomorrow, can I get more, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's coming. So I'm stalling longer. Finally, I see this van come flying into the entrance. It comes down the hill, and it comes to a screeching halt. The van door opens. First SWAT team guy falls down. So the next three fall over him because they're coming out so fast. And when they round the corner, I guess they can't see. There's a pile in front of them now. So finally, guys are just having to jump over the falling guys, and they're falling down when they hit the ground. It's like Keystone Cops. Like, I'm like, oh, shit. So this guy panics, and he's like, oh, shit. And he fucking hits the gas like he's going to fucking take off. And I'm like, he's just going to ram him. So then I pull my gun out, and I stick it toward his face, and I'm like, policia, manos arriba, alto. And he fucking, I hear this tink, 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 tink sound, like I'll never forget. This little metal, like a key bouncing sound. And I'm like, well, that's weird, right? And then next thing I know, well, boom, a flashbang was thrown by one of the SWAT guys that fucking kept falling down, and it lands right between my legs and goes off. Oh my God. And somebody's videoing this from the tree line over there, so we watched the video afterward. I mean, I had my gun basically in this dude's ear, and there's a passenger on the other side. If my finger would have been on the trigger when that thing went off, I would have squeezed because your whole body, when that flashbang goes off, just sucks in. Yeah. Oh. So I would have squeezed and just fucking shot two guys right in the head. So luckily my finger wasn't on the trigger, but you see me go down, and then I run like I don't even know where in the fuck I'm at right now. I thought in my head I'm like concussion. And I just kept thinking in my head, I was like, I just shot that guy. So then they swarm in, and they
my God, is he dead? He's dead. I know it.
Yeah. So then I start to get my senses together, and I see him pulling the guys out of the vehicle, and then my buddy Jamie comes walking by, and he takes his SWAT helmet off, and he goes, oh no, he pissed his pants. And I was like, oh fuck, I pissed my pants. And it was the Mexican guy. Because he thought I shot him in the head as well when the thing went off.
Because the gun's at his head, and he hears boom.
Yes, and the three of us are knocked senseless.
This is heaven. I'm in heaven right now.
I'm still in my car in heaven.
It was crazy.
Hey Todd, if you're lined up on his ear with a gun, I mean you're close range, right?
Yeah.
Obviously,
I'm like right at his window.
Right, where is your trigger finger then in a situation? Like
always
that?
On the outside until you're ready to shoot. Then it goes inside. Just good for reasons like that, because
that's what she said.
Right on the outside, see?
Got a boy, see?
Did you drop your gun?
when the flashbang?
No. You just see me like sucked down like in a squat, like almost with my ass touching the ground, and my gun goes straight up in the air with like two hands, and I just take off running. Like, oh shit, what just happened? Like,
awesome.
like, you cannot think at all, which is the whole, I guess, purpose of it. It like knocks you senseless.
So
for
it's
about
like
10
shining
seconds.
a light in like a bullfrog's eyes. Like it just stuns you.
You just forget what's going on for about 10 seconds.
It's a concussion.
What the hell? Yeah, basically, yeah. It's because it's a concussion grenade. So yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like that blast just fucks you, knocks you senseless.
I like that the SWAT team showed up late, fucked themselves over, stumbled all over themselves, and then threw you a concussion.
Oh, dude, we were having a good time watching the playback on video. I'm like, look at you motherfuckers falling all over each other.
How do they
leaving
not,
me out to dry.
how don't they get fired?
It's a small.
Someone dies.
Yeah, it's very political there.
I mean, there's 3 people that could have died.
Could have, yeah.
What if that Mexican guy hears the tink, 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 and he just goes, "Oh shit," and fucking kills Todd? Anything could happen.
It's weird because I'll bet if I live to be 90, I'll never forget that little tink 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 sound. Just the weirdest thing in the world. While that's going on, because you kind of weird out and like you notice little things. Like you ever see one of those movies like where it gets real quiet and the guy's got his gun out and he like hears a bee buzzing or something like that. It's really like that. You'll hear something weird and you'll focus on it. And it was, to me, it was the loudest thing in the world. Like tink tink tink. What the
Todd,
fuck
how
that?
was your breathing?
I don't know.
Was it, or were you like
Afterward.
No, like
Afterward,
during.
I
I
was a
mean,
mess.
if you got a gun drawn in someone's ear, I mean,
I don't. I zone out. Like I'll go all the way through it, and afterward, people be like, "What happened?" I'm like, I don't know.
I blacked out. I forget.
Because you're
Happens
adrenaline,
all
you know.
the time.
Yeah. It's like when you get in a fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Afterward, you're like, I don't know. I think I got punched.
Todd
I
thought
don't
he
know.
killed 2 guys.
Yeah,
How'd it go? I killed him, huh?
not too good. Yeah, they're
Them
both dead.
dragging the guy who pissed his pants out, and you just giving the whole. He's alive. He's alive.
Good for us.
That would have been a lot of paperwork.
We are done with phase 0.
when you ever apprehended anybody, throwing them in the back of a car or anything like that, did you ever go, here we go?
You ever hear me tell a werewolf story on stage when I was on Cops? Basically, I'm not gonna tell that story, but this guy legitimately thought he was a werewolf, and he hijacked a Greyhound bus. It was a whole fucking deal.
Like,
Said he had a bomb. all
I'm
this
still
shit.
looking for this episode. I swear to you, I can't find
It's
this.
got to be in the archive somewhere. But he fucking, when I was taking him to jail, he kept like threatening me the whole time. He was like, and he was like an old school biker dude, you know. So
Real werewolf.
he's in the back and he thinks he's a werewolf. So he's like, yeah, it must be tough. Like when you're a cop, you're out at work late, your family's home. Safe. You work around this small town. Probably not too hard to find out who you are and where your family is, all that stuff. Maybe you're at work one night, you come home, something bad happens. That'd be a shame or whatever. And I was like, I will fucking take this car out into the fucking woods in this small town and bury you. And nobody will say
While
a
he was
fucking
being
word.
arrested?
Yeah.
Oh,
like in the
that's
back of my
awesome.
car, and he was like, you know what? You're all right. Yeah, he loved me. I feel like I was, I would have to. They would call me to take him to court because he would flip off and back himself up in the cell with his hands up, like, "Come on, come get me." And they're like, "You got to go to court or whatever." And he'd be like, "You call McComas. McComas will walk me to court. Anybody else comes in here, you dead."
McComas the only guy threatened to kill me. I know none of you other pussies will do it. Did you ever do like the, "Hey, bro, you want a cigarette, bro"? Like Dog the Bounty
Oh
Hunter.
yeah, all the time.
I guess talking. How'd you get here, dog, bro? Why you selling ice, bro? Did you do that? Were you a good cop on the way to jail?
Oh, that was my move. Like if somebody else was trying to flip a guy to get him to work for us and he'd be resistant or whatever, or like they were trying to get a confession and it just wasn't going well, I would just fucking come in. I'd be like, "Hey, you want to go outside and smoke a cigarette real quick? Take a little break, whatever." And they always think it's a trick or whatever, which it is. But then you're like, "Yeah, no problem. You just been here for a while. I know what it's like. You need to get your nicotine." So we go outside and smoke, come in, now I'm a good guy. And it would work like 80% of the time. They'd be like, "Oh,
Imagine if you were slipping weed.
you're a
in there.
nice dude."
You would have slipped some weed in there. You would have been the guy. I mean, he would have been over there. Hey, do you guys know that guy just gave me weed? I'll talk to this guy.
The art of the confession. I used to teach it because you know what? This is the key, right? And this would make sense. Like, and this is a real thing. If you treat people like they're real people, you'd be surprised how far you can get. Like, I would just literally not lie. I would sit in there and be like, you know what? Clearly you're fucked right now. It's just a matter of how bad do you want to be fucked by the time it's done. Like, this sucks, but this is just my job. You and I could be friends outside of this. Who knows? If we were in a different life, different world, we'd probably be friends. You seem like a good guy, but right now you got to go through this. So let's just get through it the best we can. Here's your options. If you don't want to talk to me, great. This is probably what's going to happen. If you want to talk to me, yeah, I'll go to the judge and say, hey, he did cooperate. Whatever that judge thinks that's worth, that's how you end up. And could work good, could work bad, but at least you got a shot.
Yep.
And I'll be like, what do we want to do? And it would, that's just showing people respect.
Is that 80% though? I mean, that they'd be
Yeah, for
at
sure.
least. Yeah.
And, but the problem is most
Mostly
cops.
Italians, though.
Yeah, true. Italians are easy. They're just
Yes, I don't know if it is because I'm Italian, but I would rat every single time.
Yeah.
I mean, most people.
I think
would,
everyone in this
I feel
fucking room would rat.
I watch First 48. Everybody's snitching.
Yeah.
Everybody's
I mean, we're all
snitching. I don't think that's
Dude.
happening. Nowadays, I think everybody
Yeah.
snitches. Everybody.
Yeah, nobody holds out anymore, right?
Oh, like Zion can't even send a snap to him.
Unless it was like
God.
against my family, then I wouldn't rat on them.
Right.
But like anyone but my family.
Dude, you just think about like that cousin of mine I'm always talking about that goes in and out of prison. No, he never fucking rats. He fucking doesn't mind prison. I don't know how you get to that point, but he's just like, oh, I'll go to prison. Every time they've offered him house arrest or a long-term probation, he's like, oh, I'll just go to prison for a third of that time and be fucking done with it. I'm not doing probation.
You tell us
like,
one
what the
prostitute's name. You can stay at home for the next 6 months. How long I tell you to go to jail and I don't tell you prostitute? 3 months. Deal.